Appies? Fucking tourist, man. Oh my god, dude.
What happened?
It's a fucking tourist, dude. It never ceases to amaze me. Every fucking year. It's just these people. They're like from another planet, Cookie.
Oh, dude, believe me, I get it.
Welcome to $2 Steak, a pro wrestling podcast.
We were just here.
This is
Long
the
time no
beginning
see.
of the second episode we have done today. So here's the deal. In a couple weeks, Mike is going out of town for 2 weekends. He is going to be gone. It is going to be fun. Mike is going to have a great time. But with that being said, Mike is going to be gone from the podcast for 2 weeks, so we're trying to make up for that by doing 2 episodes this week.
Well, I was going to say, we've already proven that if I leave and you have to take a shit, these two can't hold it together.
Oh, my God.
We were just high, okay? We can hold it together.
Let's start our own podcast.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah. Fuck this shit.
Stoners stumbling.
Anarchy.
Anarchy.
All right, so we're going to be doing 2 episodes this week and 2 episodes next week, but they're going to be released at the same time. So that they're at the same time they usually are. So on Tuesdays.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't.
On Tuesdays. You're confusing me.
You're
It has
confusing
been a
yourself.
wild day, Mike. This day, as a homeowner, today
Of all days.
of all
all
days,
days.
of all fucking days,
G1.
First Sunday.
Extreme rules.
The first Sunday in your house.
Barbara and Howard come over. First off, my parents, I love my parents. My parents are the best parents in the world. They will do anything for you. They just stress me the hell out. They stress me out so much. And I love them, and they're so helpful, and they're doing everything for it, like helping me hang stuff. My dad's barking orders. While my dad's barking orders, my mom's barking orders, and it's becoming overwhelming. I got my new appliances in today. I got a new fridge. I got 2 new, I got a washer dryer installed today.
They look nice, too.
They look great.
They run great.
But also this week,
The dryer works.
I had to get, I had to get a cable installed from Spectrum. Spectrum came in, ran a line. A guy had a cigarette and hanging out, a cool, probably a KOOL cigarette. Like it just looked like a trashy ass.
You sure it wasn't one of those like menthol ones where you crack the pad?
Probably.
Oh,
probably.
God. Remember those? The Crush.
We sell those at the bar.
Those are so gross.
It was definitely a Camel Crush.
Camel Crushes.
The guy had to run a line from the street to my house. Spectrum. All right. I work for a cable cooperative. I work for a company where I know what's going into it. I don't know all the minute details of what's going into it, but I know a little bit about what's going on.
Yeah, I don't think the guy who hung your cable knows all the minute details of what's going into it.
Apparently
He
not.
hung my cable. Apparently it was too low.
Apparently not.
Apparently it was too low.
He's laying in the fucking street right now.
My appliance people came today, delivered my shit, and as they were driving off, my dad's standing out in the front yard. My dad's got a big chew in his mouth, his arms crossed. He's just standing there in the street, and we're watching these people get in their truck and drive off. And as he's driving off, I can see the top of the box truck catch hold of the cheap ass cable that Spectrum put in, and it just snaps. And it's just one of those things. It was like Howard Varnum walking away from an explosion, where Dad had his arms crossed and just turned at me, didn't say a damn word. He saw it happen and just started walking really slowly towards me.
I feel
Didn't
like
even say anything.
Howard probably knew an hour before when they parked that shit was going to happen.
Why didn't he fucking say something?
Because Howard just wanted to watch the world burn.
Dad.
He's like, I've seen it before. They're going to run that line right off the roof.
Damn it.
And they
done
did.
it. They done
And
did
they
it.
did.
They
You know,
done did it.
His excuse is probably like, them boys probably didn't know how to back up that box truck.
My dad just walks away very slowly as the explosion's happening in the background. My cable's going down.
This is after you went, what, how many days without internet and
Oh,
cable?
I went
Like,
4 days.
Yeah.
4 days.
Oh my god.
So,
Lifetime. It's a lifetime for a millennial, man.
rough.
as we're waiting for Extreme Rules to start here in a couple minutes, we're hoping that at some point today that Spectrum's going to call me back. So if we get a phone call from Spectrum,
You won't.
I won't. They claim North and South Carolina are like their tickets are behind.
That's where you
today.
go,
I'm like,
bitch. It's Louisiana getting a hurricane.
Yeah, no shit. So, anyways, let's talk about Fight for the Fall. All right, so it's a big. That was my segue.
Oh.
Mike, you gotta have
I was like,
pauses.
are you gonna lead? Are you gonna lead into a question?
Yeah, no. I'm gonna have some pauses. All right, so
Sorry, you want to redo that again?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
It's
We're gonna
live,
go with it.
boys.
We're like the Marvin Show. We leave in all the mess ups. Oh, can I tell a story about the Marvin Show real quick?
Please tell
All
the
right.
Marvin Show story.
So, guys, I moonlight. Not only do I have a phenomenal 5-cookie professional wrestling podcast,
Dozens and dozens of followers.
dozens
Millions.
and dozens of followers.
And millions of
I
fake
also
fans.
I also help out with a guy named Marvin Latimer. Marvin has his own cooking show called The Marvin Show. Okay. He was on Big Brother season 5. He made it to the top 5. Marvin is a phenomenal dude. I've known him for years. One of the nicest guys. He runs the only black funeral home in Horry County.
Okay.
His cooking show is basically, as he describes it, a ghetto cooking show. So we're cooking every.
It's
you,
ama- it's-
Cookie,
it's
you didn't know
awesome.
that I do this?
You've never
No,
seen this?
I've never seen this.
It's brilliant.
Every
Keep
week,
going.
we're cooking shit with lard. We're deep frying stuff. We're doing, and the whole time he is hammered. He's hammered. He's like one of those old heads you see. Like, wait, is it Spectrum?
No, it's Cookies. Cookies
Oh, God.
friends.
Those kids are not 6. Well,
Cookie has turned into a 60-year-old white boomer, like looking out
Get
the
off my
window.
porch.
Scared. She's scared
get
of
off
the
my
kid.
porch.
I don't like
doing?
I don't like these white kids walking around.
I don't like these people moving
making
into
me
my
uncomfortable.
neighborhood.
All right, so the Marvin Show.
go.
It is a ghetto cooking show. We do all sorts of fun stuff. It's hilarious. Marvin's hammered. We're doing an episode this week. We're doing it outside. We have an outside episode. He's got a little setup outside. It's pretty cool. He has a great house on the water in Myrtle Beach. Okay. Marvin has done very well for himself from owning this black funeral home. Yeah. So we're cooking outside. His guest this week is his 17-year-old nephew who thinks he's hot shit, right? He 17-year-old nephew.
I know how this is gonna go.
His nephew plays basketball, varsity basketball player, great athlete, thinks he's hot shit. And the whole time Marvin is just like, he's just getting frustrated with him, and I can just tell that like this guy, he comes on, his nephew's wearing decked out, beautiful like $300 sneakers, right? Oh,
It's Spectrum!
No, it's
The podcast will be paused for 5 minutes.
hello?
Hey,
Hey, Dad.
did the cable people ever come?
No, Dad.
All right. Well, I'm just, your mama wanted me to call to find out.
I'll call you. We're recording the podcast.
Bye.
Bye.
Back to Marvin.
Back to Marvin.
Howard Barnum. God bless Howard Barnum.
$300 Nikes.
Yes.
Beautiful shoes.
Yeah.
He's wearing like a nice like gold chain, like very nice.
Oh my God,
We're-
dude.
And
He's
Marvin,
already in the league in his head.
he's in the league in his head. Marvin's ordering him around. The guy's like he's barely taking like the orders and stuff, right? Marvin's like, I need a fucking onion. And he looks and he's like, hey, get your ass upstairs and go get me an onion. I've got a lavalier microphone on him, right?
It's a wireless mic.
It's a wireless mic. It's got good range. I've got my headphones on, and I hear him walking up the stairs, and the whole time he's like, "That motherfucker, fuck Marvin, fuck, fuck him for sending me upstairs. I don't need to go upstairs to get this onion." He goes to the kitchen, opens up the fridge, and at that point, I'm like, "All right, he's getting the onion." All of a sudden, I hear. All Marvin has in his fridge is beer, right? He has no soft drinks, no anything. And I'm like, Marvin, he's drinking a beer. Marvin's like, oh, hell no. So he's like
reprimanded.
We turn the light on my camera on top of the camera, and it's like
coming.
fucking like Cheaters, like that TV show Cheaters.
Oh my God.
I'm following Marvin. Marvin, yeah,
shaking.
I'm running up the stairs with Marvin. Marvin's in front of me, and he's like, hey, get your ass! What are you doing? And like we catch him mid sip, and he's like, what? How did you know? And I'm like, the microphone, asshole, the microphone.
Foiled by a white boy.
Foiled by the white boy.
Damn. The man's out to get you, man.
Marvin, it was such a perfect like way to lead into that. It was such a good episode of the Marvin show.
Can Marvin give us? We just gave out him a huge shout out. Can Marvin give us a shout out?
I will tell him right now. I will tell Marvin, and Marvin will have us on the show. We should have a whole
cookout.
episode
We
here
need to have a cookout
in the
one day.
brand new.
The $2 studios. We can only get one guy in that kitchen at a time, though.
Well, and Marvin's a big dude. Marvin's.
And you should give me and Marvin a mystery baskets.
Oh God.
cook off. A little ghetto versus a little country cook off.
Wait, this is like it's like
Can it be shrimp and like some other random shit?
Yeah, oh yeah.
it's like Iron Chef, and I like pull the thing off, and I'm like, oh, your secret ingredient is bottom-town shrimp and cheerwine. And cheerwine. Hey.
I already know Tolbert's gonna do a cheerwine reduction.
Oh yeah.
A lot of butter, man. Just put that. Glaze that shrimp.
That
up,
actually
man.
sounds really good.
Doesn't it?
Anyways, professional wrestling.
Extreme rules. Fight for the
rules.
fallen.
Fight for the Fallen was pretty fun. We enjoyed it. We had Davenport over. Davenport was falling asleep during it. And Mike was too. It felt a little long in the tooth, and it was fine.
Those matches
It
were
started
long.
at 7:30.
It was long.
And here's the deal with AEW. I think that AEW, wrestling fans can watch longer professional wrestling matches. And I mean, it's been proven. There's been 60-minute Iron Man matches. I don't think fans these days, I think it needs to be condensed a little bit more. Maybe like the 30-minute matches, they're good. They're good matches. I promise you. It's good professional wrestling if you want to watch it. Half the time I'm saying wrap it up, boys. Half the time my attention span is down.
I was just saying, I think, and part of that it might just be the world we live in now. It's like everybody immediately has that. If they lose their attention, they're on their phone, and
it's
like,
done.
I
The
went
whole
to
time.
I went to my phone a bunch yesterday.
I did too.
Part of it, cheap me tweeting, but part of it was just like, this is boring. But the one thing I'll say for Fight for the Fallen was their pre-show was the best pre-show they've had.
Correct.
And there still wasn't great matches, but they were pre-show matches. So they did the librarian shtick versus Sonny Kiss, so they got to introduce Sonny Kiss a little bit and his character and the flamboyance and all that sort of stuff. and it was good though, and you could tell Sonny Kiss is green, but he's super athletic. Yeah. He will be. I'm interested to see how they do it and what they do with his character, but he can easily like just kind of fold into something like that. But I was telling Aaron's like cooking dinner, and I'm like, yeah, like he looks good, but there's definitely some just freshness there where it's like his punches didn't look clean. It's not crisp. He's super athletic, and whereas the other guy, what's his name?
Librarian, I don't know.
He's the male librarian. You could tell he's been in the business a while. Like he's landing and he's
a good hand.
He's finishing his moves, and it was great. And then what was the other pre-show? The women's?
Oh, the women's match, yeah.
Well, the women's match was taken back by Britt Baker getting a concussion within the first 30 seconds, and a legitimate, like, she went to tag the wrong partner, and like she was completely out of it. They should have ended that, but
the Japanese women in that match worked their asses off.
They held it well, and there was the first. Is it Bea? It's spelled Bay.
It's B. Presley.
B. Presley. So that was her first AEW like appearance. She clearly comes off as like that force. Like I could totally see her going against Nyla Rose and like having this kind of just behemoth match. But the concussion of Britt Baker kind of really it pulls you out because like she was clearly just lost, and you know she's fresh and she's green and like so she'll make some of those like simple mistakes too. But it was just anyway. Long story short, the pre-show was the best pre-show they've had, I thought, and then the matches early on were great. I just they started losing me just because I'm an old man. I got a kid and stuff.
Who
I
walked
got shit to
today?
do.
Tell us about that.
My son fucking walked today.
Elliot.
Yeah, no, he took his first couple steps and then
Then he fell.
well, no, then he fell a bunch.
Holy shit.
He fell a bunch
Holy
because
shit.
his legs are all wobbly and tired because he's been doing all this work, and we're trying to get it on video. And then randomly, organically, Amanda starts recording because we felt like he was about to do it, and Amanda pulls up the first person, or she just pulls up WhatsApp and starts recording, and she records it, and he steps, and he 9 steps, and she sends it, and the best part is she's like, I don't know who I just sent that to. But it's literally watch it till the end because he just walks, and it was Aaron. And then meanwhile, Aaron was dealing with the whole Spectrum thing, so he didn't really care. But
I did care. I did care.
But as a father, I was tired, and by the end of Fight for the Fallen, I was losing it, and not losing interest, or it's just they weren't big enough spots, and they weren't crazy enough moves that I was just really engaged. I was kind of I should have went home early and just watched it today.
Here's another thing. The audience, it was an outdoor show.
It was, and it's Florida.
Yeah.
And it's 95 degrees
I
in
saw
Jacksonville,
those,
Florida.
Fans they handed out to everybody. Everyone had.
Yeah,
little
everybody had the
church fans.
vapors.
Yeah.
They have the vapors.
Well, the one guy was the one that's dead center on
the
the
fat
hard
boy?
cam. He looked like a mix between a fat Rob Zombie and a fat
The
Bray
guy in
Wyatt.
the corner.
Yeah.
I've seen him.
and you could tell he's stoked. He's excited early on. He's cheering everybody. Man, he loved him some Sonny Kiss. He was just excited. And then by the end, he's just oh yeah, this is great. And he's just clapping.
Exhausted.
He's just not standing up. Nobody is. And it's because it's fucking 85 degrees and it's a 4-hour show.
How did you guys feel about the Dustin Rhodes Cody Rhodes match? What'd you guys think?
I prefer the revival.
It was.
That's fair.
It wasn't a young.
I
Bucks,
hate the Young
It
Bucks.
wasn't a Young Bucks spot show, which was good. I enjoyed that. They brought it down a little bit. You could tell the different styles. That was a good component of it. I'm not a huge fan of the giant push that AEW is giving the Young Bucks. I understand why they're doing it, but I'm not a huge fan of that. And I'm still not a huge fan of the fucking rule. The Young Bucks eventually it just devolves into this spot show.
All 4 people are in the ring.
Everybody's beating each other, and it's kind of dumb. I really, really like the build-up though, because initially you're all right, well, Cody and the Young Bucks are best friends. They started this company. Why are they fighting each other? And then it became the Young Bucks mocking him and the Dustin segment over a couple weeks, and that build-up was great. And I really like how Fight for the Fallen did that, and I like how AEW's kind of molding that, merging that kayfabe / reality line between social media and YouTube and their videos and all this sort of stuff. And I text that to you guys. I think how they're doing that is a very 21st century way to approach kayfabe, whereas you get you get a guy like Jim Cornette who just fucking hates the Young Bucks. He hates Kenny Omega, and it's because part of it is he doesn't know how to work YouTube. He only sees the pay-per-views that he sees, and meanwhile they're putting all this content out on all these different streams and channels, and it kind of makes those connections, and that's all I got to say about that.
That's all I gotta say about that.
I heard that Cody dropped a pretty good promo at the very end of that match.
It
That's the
was.
only reason why
Mike
I
was already out the door at that
I saw
point.
it gone, man. I was literally falling
As
asleep.
soon as the third,
Aaron was like, "Are you sleeping?" during the Omega and
Shima
match.
That was a good match.
And I was like,
so long.
but I was like, no, I'm not sleeping. But I was so zoned out. I literally was trying to stay awake, so I was up the whole time. It was just late, and I don't know if it was just. I kind of wish I would have just left when Davenport did, and I would have watched the rest
Shima
today.
and
yeah.
yeah.
I watched the whole thing because I was at work. It was a little slower. Yeah, it was a little slower, so I was able to watch the majority of it because you serve somebody here and there. Standing around, and I was watching it with a lot of customers there too. We're enjoying it. Definitely like the last one better, but this one was good. I thought Janela and Darby had a good match, like we talked about. Him
on last week.
in last week's episode.
So, do you like Darby?
I'm starting to grow on me. Yes, I do. I watched a lot of YouTube indie videos and stuff like that. At first, you're like, all right, this is just the kid that just falls off shit and jumps off shit. You know what I mean? But after watching him this weekend, I was like, he's got some moves. He's definitely developing.
He's fast as shit.
Yeah,
And he got a
super fast and light
huge
and
pop.
agile. Yeah.
He got a huge pop when he came in against Sean Spears. And the idea was, again, they built it online of like he was pissed that Sean Spears stole his thunder because he took Cody to a draw.
Great story and great
And
build up.
Me and Aaron are both like, he's so fucking tiny.
Yeah,
He's so tiny, but he can take an ass
small.
whooping.
Yeah,
Dude, and part of that makes you buy into it a little bit. But
I mean, it's a solid match. I definitely thoroughly enjoyed it, and they put it towards the beginning of the show, and kind of kept the momentum going. Then it slowed down a little bit.
Well, so that match,
Yeah.
the 3-on-3, the triple or the 3-way tag match was awesome. You could tell Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy,
Love that match.
send them to the fucking moon. Those guys are so over.
So
People
great.
love it, and it is
great,
great.
dude.
It is
It
a
was.
fun. I mean, it may not be the most like based in reality gimmick, but it's a fun gimmick.
I love how he comes out on his shoulders.
Yeah, but-
and it's like it's Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. They could both be from the
So
jungle.
this
you
is
know?
the
Like,
this is the thing though. This is how they're molding kayfabe in reality. Is they train together. They've been in the same wrestling gym for 10 years or almost, and since Jungle Boy was 13 when he started, and Luchasaurus might have been whatever 17, 18, but it's just a good gimmick. It's a good match.
You got this huge, massive Jack guy
Huge.
with this small framed, really agile guy, and it's just great. It's great.
That guy was also in Big Brother. I think
He
that's
was in
the
Big
guy.
Brother.
He was
He
a
was.
Big Brother contestant, and he was in NXT for a little
He
while.
also has a master's
Maybe
degree.
Judas Devlin.
Yeah.
He has
That's
a
that's the
master's
gimmick. He's like, I have a
degree.
master's degree. I can do whatever I want.
He has a master's degree, but it's in medieval literature.
It's hilarious.
Like that.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's a good, it's just a good thing, and people
Right.
love it.
And we'll talk about this later. You don't have to have a gimmick. When we talk about Tolbert's match coming up in a few minutes, you don't have to have something completely based in reality to have it fun and entertaining.
No, you don't.
I think what I want to see in the future is Darby Allin versus Jungle Boy.
I think that'd be fun. It would be very fast.
I don't know how they build it, but that would be just a fucking sprint. It would be a whole sprint.
You know what they did build? Janela.
Janela
against Darby Allin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
They built
They
that.
built
They
that.
teased it a couple times last night.
And they've worked together in the past. Like last week we talked about.
Yeah.
you did more talking about my match than I did, but it is what it is. But they've worked together in the past in the indies, and Janela's been a busy boy this week. He's been
A bad busy boy.
He's been in the news a lot. I'm sure if you're a wrestling fan at all, it's been all over Twitter, all over all the podcasts. It's been on all the things.
Tolbert was so happy that this happened until he saw that it was at a Blink 182 concert.
show. Dude, if you're at a Blink 182 show, don't do anything to bring any attention to yourself. You don't want people to know you're there.
I'm going to a Baroness concert on Tuesday, goddammit.
Dude, I am going to Baroness in a few weeks, and that'll be fucking amazing. But I was like, come on, dude, I have so much respect for you. You're like one of my favorite wrestlers right now, and you're at a
But it was
fucking
also
Blink 182 show.
Lil Wayne was there, and Cookie is wearing a Lil Wayne t-shirt right now.
Yeah. Well,
Best rapper alive.
Anyway, Joey was just trying to have a good time, like he always is. And I mean, we all, all the wrestling fans in the story. He goes up to fucking Enzo fuckboy.
Who wouldn't want to just slap Enzo in the face? I think everybody.
Oh my god,
everybody.
you guys don't like Enzo, man.
I
like
hate
his
Enzo.
character.
I hate
His
him.
character.
I hate him.
I hate him.
His
He's
character.
garbage.
He's basically.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
cannot stand. I cannot stand Enzo. All right, so our first match of the evening. Big Mike, the Belfast the Belfast
Rewind.
Bruiser, Belfast Bruiser Fit Finley against Steven Regal. Mike.
All right, so it is Fit Finley, who is the Belfast Bruiser, versus Steven Regal, or A.K. Lord Steven Regal.
Lord Steven Regal.
The WCW Uncensored, March 21st, 1996. Initial reactions, Lord Steven Regal. Love it already. Literally, I don't even know. It wasn't King, it wasn't Prince, it was just Lord. He's like
Palmer.
He's top shit, but not the toppest shit. So it's just you're kind of into it a little
He's
bit.
easily one of my favorite
I
wrestlers.
fucking love Steven Regal.
And I
He's
referenced him
great.
14 episodes ago where with that match in Goldberg. He just seems like he's a wrestler's wrestler. He just knows what he's doing. Commentary, Dusty Rhodes and 2 other people.
It was probably, I don't remember, but if it was 96, it was probably Steve Mungo McMichaels was one of them. God. And Dusty, I don't know who the other one is.
Yeah, it was, and that's how it was. I was like,
it
it's
could have
Dusty.
been Tony. It could have been Eric Bischoff.
I don't think it was Tony. Maybe it was there. I don't know. Anyway, the Belfast Bruiser. Great haircut. It was.
He looks like Davenport.
It was no. Davenport has a very classy, classic mullet.
He's got the Irish.
The Belfast Bruiser has an Irish. It's a buzz cut with a rat tail, but a thick rat tail, like a 6-inch wide rat tail.
Fit Finley is God. He is fucking amazing.
I mean, if that's your definition of God, then Fit Finley is it.
He is a godlike
mullet
wrestler,
was
man. I love him.
Dude,
it
it was
gross.
So, it was so trashy. Like I couldn't even make white trash mullet references because again, Davenport has a great white trash
Yes,
mullet.
he does.
And it's very classy. It's very well done. Belfast Bruiser, it's like the bowl cut version of a mullet.
It was awesome.
It was what? It was something. It was something. But so my first reactions. This is clearly upper class versus lower class.
Talk about that jacket that he was wearing too.
Bruiser.
Bruiser.
Well, you got Ireland against like England too. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, here's another thing: these guys trained together and worked together in the English wrestling territory system back in the 80s and 90s. They have history together, but this being an American wrestling match, they have no history in America.
I would say, like you don't have that history, but
right.
Those initially, that's what it is. It's like, all right, so it's this not pompous, but just upper class guy versus this trashy motherfucker. But I like both wrestlers right off the bat. It starts in a hurry. Bruiser, aka
Fit Finley.
I'm gonna have to keep going back to that, but just starts swinging and landing on Regal. It was great. And you can kind of see that. I don't know, is he a newer guy or is he an older guy? Like,
so Finley had been around since the late 70s, early 80s, but he had not wrestled in America in a long time. So this is kind of the early years of him wrestling in America.
Okay, so people are probably more familiar with Regal.
Regal has been around probably 5 or 6 years at this point.
So in the crowd's head, because the crowd was great the whole time again, so the crowd head, it's probably this new guy versus an older guy.
Right.
Okay. Right off the bat, like immediately, like 20 seconds in, Regal is a great visuals. Like just selling like a motherfucker, facials, all this sort of stuff is just you feel like he's absorbing and experiencing the things that Bruiser's throwing him. Finley is just beating the shit out of Regal, punching, kicking, clamming. Sorry, read that weird. I don't know what I meant about that, but just he's just going. I don't know. What? Sorry, boys, that was a typo. But just raking them up. No, but Bruiser is. I mean, right off the bat, he's just beating the shit out of Regal. Finally, Regal gets him locked up and starts just hammering Bruiser's face. Goes back and forth for a bit after that. Regal hits a massive drop kick. Huge drop kick to the face. It looked like the face anyway. It might have been upper chest, but it looked like to the face of Bruiser, who was like coming off the ring post. So what's it called when they like throw each other into the
Irish
ropes? Irish whips.
So it's fitting.
There we go. So it was kind of like an Irish whip into the ring post. Bruiser like did this thing off the ring post, and but Regal just fucking connects. Huge drop kick, great spot. Again, a nice group of holds and positions, which I don't really know the name of. A couple headlocks. I think that's a thing.
Yes.
And I don't know what's going on, but I know it's good wrestling. And that's kind of the point I made. Regal gets a massive slam over the top rope to the outside floor. So they always do this. It's like this, will he, won't he, off the thing from the apron anyway. But Regal does it, gets him up over the top rope. Finley almost kind of lands it on his feet, which was kind of interesting. But that spot leads to a good bit of offense for Regal. Huge punches and forearms and slams.
Everything's connecting.
And that's the thing. So maybe looking back, you could probably tell that these guys have worked together before because it is. I wouldn't call it strong style stiff.
No. It is
stiff.
strong style stiff.
Okay, there we go.
It is definitely a strong style match.
It's stiff. Regal quickly distracts the ref and lands a massive kick to the nuts of Fit Finlay, like just a fucking 30-yard field goal. Like he's got to go for it. Again, we get another back and forth on the ground and in the ring. It's just good wrestling. Like I was watching, I was like thinking back to like when I used to watch like actual wrestling, like on a mat in a ring, like kind of stuff. That's what it looks like. It's like counters and this and that and the other thing, and it's just really good. About 17 minutes in to the video that we'll post the link to, it's Regal gets his face popped open,
and it is like a fucking pimple.
It's good color. That's all I can say. Cameras no longer zoom in on him. It like a water balloon. Goes outside the ring. Regal tosses Fit Finlay into a cage that's set up for a later match.
Correct.
That they kind of like prefaced during the commentary, and so they said they're members of the Blue Bloods.
So he had a faction.
Okay,
the Blue Bloods came out.
Regal had a faction.
Correct. Did you recognize?
No. Oh wait, is one Mr. Perfect?
I didn't recognize him.
I didn't recognize him. No.
Rick Rude? No.
Beautiful Bobby Eaton.
No way.
One of them is beautiful Bobby Eaton without his mullet from the Midnight Express.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't have noticed that without.
So it was him, and it was also was it Dave Taylor? It might have been Dave Taylor. Was the other one?
Oh, I know Dave.
So yeah. So it's like it's two British guys and a guy from Alabama.
So anyway, the members come out. They start triple teaming Fit Finlay. Match ends in I think a DQ, and but it doesn't like the camera doesn't pan away.
Well, they don't get a close up on Regal.
Not on Regal, but video doesn't end until what looks like a massive backhand from Regal onto Fit Finlay. And so that's my let's get to my final thoughts. Great display of wrestling as wrestling. Ground game, punches, hits, slams. It was if you're a fan of wrestling, you'd like that. No high spots, just a fucking barroom brawl. So that was great. To get into a little bit of the wrestling lingo and the insider terms, definitely what I would consider potato and receipt. So
a bunch.
I mean I was just thinking to the 1-1, but the potato being like a very stiff shot, being what popped open Regal's face.
Gotcha.
In which he had to have surgery after that.
So I didn't know that until Aaron told me that. But it's a huge potato. Like if you break his nose so bad he has to get surgery and he's just gushing blood afterwards. And please watch the video link because the receipt at the very end of the video it's a full-on grown man backhand that lands without any pull. And by the way, Fit Finlay's being held by two other grown men. Like Regal had a clean. Imagine a Ric Flair chop, but to the fucking face. It was huge. And that's all I got to say about that.
That is Bobby Eaton.
That is beautiful Bobby Eaton. I don't know if we have time for a social media update.
We do have time for a social media update.
I mean, I don't know because we're doing 2 in a row. So give me a social media update.
I got a lot.
A lot.
Well, we had 2 weeks of social media.
Oh God!
All right, social media, Instagram followers. Tolbert is up to 65 followers.
As Tolbert rolls his blunt. He hasn't contributed to this fucking podcast for the last 30 minutes because he is rolling this blunt.
Yeah, it's called concentration.
Can I just point out?
Extreme rules.
I'll just point out. So the difference between the Instagram and the Twitter followers, which is kind of a unique kind of thing, is the Instagram followers are definitely more local and close degrees of separation. So these are people that either Tolbert or I know that we're kind of friends with. Twitter is definitely a larger scope. Mostly people we don't know. Like. It started out with people that we did know who happened to have a Twitter. Now it's people that we don't know. And so to go off of that, we actually had some more interaction this week with fans. We will call him a fan. He messaged us, and I will say I saw the message first, and I didn't click on it because I thought it was like a spammy kind of like inappropriate.
Is your dick too small?
So we have this message. So in Twitter, you can have you have a handle, which is the @ whatever. Yeah. But before the handle is like whatever you can fit into the thing that's not already taken. And so it's his opening like tagline is Big Dick Energy Bruiser. And at first I saw Big Dick Energy. I'm like, I'm not fucking clicking on that. This is a spam thing. Then I saw Bruiser. I was like, Dick Bruiser. Okay, I'll click on it. And so at Bradshaw Wilson. So Bradshaw Wilson sent us this great little video. I sent it to you guys. Yep. It was 30 minutes of an Irish guy talking about why wrestling is awesome.
This is a very Irish episode.
And it was great because it spends like 20 minutes just talking about like, yeah, we know it's quote unquote fake, but there's some reality involved to it. And in the last 10 minutes, the reason he sent it to us is because we had the Golden Lovers episode. In the last 10 minutes, talk about how they kind of weaved in and out of kayfabe and reality and fiction and all this sort of stuff. And so shout out to Bradshaw Wilson for giving us that awesome
Let's
video.
hope he listens some more.
Yeah. Let's think.
Should we send him some WCW? Should I send him
in
some
3
WCW
weeks? Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
Send him some free birds.
Anyway, other Twitter news. This past week's Raw was fucking terrible. So 2 weeks ago, amazing, best Raw in months, and the follow up episode was such utter like trash that
But we did get to see a good revival match.
The revival match was good. Everything else,
Always love to see a good revival match.
hot.
Christ.
Actually, I'll call it a cold.
Hey, we got 20 minutes, boys, for another revival match.
All right. Well, hey, there's called pause. We'll just pause.
All right.
If Aaron ever gets that Spectrum call. Anyway.
I will not.
So bad Raw equals bad Twitter turnout. Combined with friends and family in town, we had a minimal Twitter effort this week, so it was just kind of like a blah Twitter effort. So the best of the week, I actually did really well. So Corey Graves tweeted out something, and it was in reference.
It was the bagel thing.
Yeah, so it was in reference to this video of this little person.
We don't know if he was little. He's 5 foot. That's not a little person.
Anyway, it's a smaller person at a bagel restaurant in New York, I'm assuming, and he's just angry and he's yelling.
County. Oh, that was Long Island. That's
Long Island. So he's just yelling at everybody. He's getting in people's face, poking chests, and all this sort of stuff. And somebody finally had enough and just fucking tackled his ass. like just fucking speared him to the ground into the counter. And then people were like, oh, you shouldn't have done that. It's like, well, he was being a dick for like 45 seconds.
He should have done that.
And so my tweet was, good bagels are worth fighting for.
They are.
And you know what? Crushed it. 1,300 impressions.
Nice.
7 engagements. It was good. A lot of likes on that one.
Yeah. Can I give a social media update?
As long as you don't cut me off, you go ahead.
Am I cutting you off right now?
No, I have more, so just don't go to the
all I'm going to say is I got 13,000 impressions on Facebook with my Sting arriving.
13,000?
13,000.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Arriving to the cookout?
It says your friend tells you not to dress up for the cookout, and you're like, yeah, I'm not going to dress up for the cookout. Me arriving to the July 4th cookout.
That's awesome.
And it's Sting coming out in red, white, and blue.
Thank God.
We had like 200 shares. It was a good
God
week.
bless Facebook on that. Yeah, and feel free to give Facebook things, because that's the one thing we're ignoring, because we don't have any stipulation for Facebook fans, do we?
No.
Aaron,
I
you want to go through the table?
No, like if we get 200, we've got 300, I think, on Facebook. But if we do, I'm not going to agree to anything. Maybe my cable will get fixed if I get 200 more.
God forbid. Anyway.
God forbid.
All right, so that was the best of the week. Worst of the week. I'm going to go ahead and give myself worst of the week.
No.
I didn't get much tweeted out. I started a new job. I'm very early in. I had family in town. And I'm embarrassed to say I had a half-assed Follow Friday. I was like, man, I'm doing terrible on Twitter. Let me just do this Follow Back Friday thing.
It's an addiction. You're like a heroin addict.
Sometimes you just need that new hit. And this time I got bunk, man. I got 0 new followers.
No, I thought we got a couple.
No.
Oh.
No, we got 0.
Oh,
So 3 boos for me, boys.
Boo. Boo.
Shame.
Boo.
Shame. Shame.
I feel that shame.
There it is.
For our strong style match of the evening, we have got Kenta Kobashi against Kenta.
I like this match.
Good.
I like this match. This was a good match. And before this match even started, it had that master versus student look and look.
And it was.
And it was. But I could tell that Kenta looked like the disgruntled student. It looked like there was a grudge between those two. And boys, when I say that this match was hard hitting, it was hard hitting.
They knocked the shit out of each
Like,
other.
oh my god! I thought Mio and Suzuki were hitting each other pretty hard. I thought the Belfast Bruiser and Lord Steven Regal were hitting each other pretty hard.
Do you know who Kenta is?
No, he's
Hideo Itami.
No, he's. Oh shit, he is. Oh my god, I did not know that was Hideo Kenta. Damn.
Kenta.
He dropped the name. That's right, he did drop the name.
And now he's back to Kenta. He's back in New Japan.
You know what? He was so watered down in the WWE. Like, I did not get a vibe of any of that I saw when he faced Kobashi.
Yep.
Wow. Well, I just learned something new today. Anyway, going back to the match, hard hitting, just a complete just strike. It was a striking match. So it starts with a premature fist from Kobashi, and Kenta. I love this part. Kenta just tells him, "Cool down, man. You gotta chill out. This is not how the match is gonna go." And he just Kobayashi is giving Kenta some strong chops, and Kenta is just eating them. He just he wants more, and he delivers a boot to the head that I thought immediately he was out. I was like, well, there goes the match. 1, 2, 3. The rest of this this timer is just gonna be filler. But no, the match keeps going on, and they were just at one point trading suplexes, and I thought that was so fucking cool. Like, it was like a sleeper suplex, turns over and does another different type of suplex. And I was just like it was such an entertaining match. But what I saw early on from the match, I was like, Kenta loves that boot. He loves the running boot. Yeah, he is good.
He is good.
He is so good.
CM Punk stole a lot of moves from Kenta.
I could see that. And it looks like AJ took a couple of moves from him too, like the little combination,
yeah,
of the
slap
fist,
combination, yeah,
the slap combination, spinning fist, and then the kick to the head.
And
saw a lot of that.
CM Punk took the GTS,
GTS,
and he took a couple other moves. The knee to the when he does the knee stuff,
the knee to the corner, the running knee. He does the running knee a lot. The running knee to the corner as well. So Daniel Bryan looks like he's taking a couple of moves from him as well. But Kenta loves that. He loves that running boot. And at one point, he kicks him out of the ring over the guardrail. Sorry, and he does a sweet Hurricane Rana to the outside. And Kobayashi, guys, he's an older gentleman, so he looks like he's fading out. He's getting out of the wrestling business. It looks like, 'cause he's a bigger guy. He's got the dad bod going on, and he takes this nasty Hurricane Rana to the outside, and I thought he broke his back. He was laying on the ground for a little while, and I think half of the time, it looked like he was keeping one eye closed half of the match. I was like, is he having an aneurysm? Is he okay?
Yes. No, he you're taking a lot of offense, and maybe get kicked in the eye a little bit.
What I'm trying to say is that it kept me entertained. It kept me into the match, and that's what I like about it. Those kicks looked personal. They looked painful, and I think that's the way a match should go, especially a strong style match. So Kobayashi, going back, Kobayashi delivers a sweet sleeper suplex, but it looks like halfway through the match he's starting to favor that arm. Kenta likes to do a lot of elbow chops to the arm, and he favors a certain part. He does an arm bar at one point, but Kobayashi does get the other upper hand, DDTs him on the ramp. Kenta at one point is draped over the top rope, and Kobashi delivers a great Khali-esque chop to the chest. There we go. Knocks him down. Picks Kenta up by his hair, chops him dead in the face, on the nose, bridge of the nose. Oh my god, so cool. And then I got a note here that says they are not pulling punches or slaps in this match at all.
And you could tell that, and we kind of referenced it with the last match, that there is an air of familiarity between these two competitors.
There is.
And they, with that being said, they are going a little stronger.
Yeah.
You trust that person enough that you're gonna beat the shit out of that person, and you trust them to beat the shit out of you, but still be safe about it.
Yes, and deliver an awesome match at the end of the day. At one point, Kenta does a high kick a leading high kick from the middle rope, and then does a double running drop kick, then does a hesitation drop kick, springboard drop kick from Kenta. Like, he's going all out, and you can tell. And Kobashi is just eating it the entire time. There's a lot of near falls in this match, but it's not obnoxious. Not a lot of obnoxious false finishes. The only thing I have to say is that was kind of weird was Kobashi at one point gets the upper hand and just starts slapping Kenta in the chest. I mean, it's just rapid slaps to the chest.
It was a lot.
It was at least 25 slaps. I was like, oh my God. Like, he's gonna hurt himself if he keeps doing this. He's too old to be doing that. And it was fun, but I wanted to say wrap it up, but I didn't say wrap it up.
There was no cookie removed from that.
No cookie removed from it, but like if he would have kept going with some of that like ridiculous moveset of his, I would have been a little upset. But I wasn't. It was two different styles going head to head with each other. Kobayashi having that older striking style, and Kenta obviously was the faster of the two, and he had a striking style, but he also had like more of a technical ground and pound type of style. But anyway, going back, it looks like it.
Tolbert, Jesus Christ!
Are you okay, man?
Sorry, Cook.
That's the first word Tolbert said in this entire episode.
Hey, are we getting Foo Wings still?
Oh my
It's
God!
Fu Wangz. Come on, man.
Are we still getting Foo Wings?
There's not a lot of selling in the match. I'm just gonna jump back into this. There's not a lot.
Ignore him, Cookie.
I am gonna ignore him.
Ignore me.
I noticed that there's not a lot of selling in strong style. There's not a lot of selling in strong style matches. I mean,
That's one
they're actually
knock.
hitting each other.
Yeah, they're keeping it tight, but when they do moves like for instance, at one, children. Like for instance, like Kobashi did a power bomb, like a seated power bomb, and Kobashi got right back up. Like they both just got right back up after it, and it was just like, like in WWE,
I
they
don't like
sell
that
those
that
moves
much.
a
Right.
little bit longer,
Right.
and they'll stay on the ground a little bit longer, and they'll hesitate a little bit doing their next moves, but they didn't do that. Anyway, I know we got to wrap it up pretty soon. Let's see here. We'll go here. So 2 kicks to the back of the. Kenta delivered some nasty, gnarly kicks to the back of Kobashi's head, and Kenta got this long running start. He just went back and forth between the ropes, looking like he was going to kick him again in the back of the head, and Kobashi does a wicked Stan Hansen-esque lariat, and it looked like it knocked him the hell out because I swear I saw his eyes roll in the back of his head. Near fall, 2 count, didn't finish the match. Kobayashi gets him back up for a Death Valley driver pump handle slam type of move, and he looked like he just dropped him directly on the neck. What?
I'm sorry. Somebody just tweeted at us, and they're shit talking us.
Really?
What are they saying? Stand by.
Sam Castle at Sam Castle 7 said, self-promoting a podcast about stage sport, LMAO. How bad is your podcast? What should I say back, boys?
Pretty bad. That's what you should say.
Listen to find out.
What was the tweet at? What caused the tweet?
I actually don't know. I tweeted out. Oh, actually, I did the "This Isn't Wrestling" on an ESPN tweet. So
Hey,
what should I say back to Sam Castle?
There's no promotion like self-promotion. We're all about it.
Can I just be mean to him?
Oh
Yeah.
What should I say though?
Just be mean. I want to hear the cookie count so we can watch Extreme
go
Rules.
ahead.
I'm sorry.
But
before
We'll get to that.
I had
one
to
more
accept. I had to accept that message. Allow it to be sent to me. That's
Did
how
he
popular-
DM it?
That's how popular.
He
we are.
DM'd that?
He DM'd me and said we're terrible.
He
great.
DM'd us?
I'm so excited.
All right, we'll come up with
We'll
that.
decide and
We'll
stay,
tell
stay
it
tuned next week to
next
find out
week.
how
We'll
we
find
shit
it.
on this guy.
We might show up at his house. Who knows?
Do you,
Keep
take a
checking
picture of my
Twitter.
nutsack.
Oh my God, dude. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody.
Dude, I've seen it.
Nobody.
I've seen it. I've seen it more times than I have wanted
I'm not
to.
looking to
Oh,
my
it's
left.
Just
for the
send
rest
him
of the
back.
night.
Just send him back.
Oh my
God.
God. I am not looking to the left. This is.
Hold on. Sorry, I totally derailed this. This is not.
I've seen Aaron's nuts at least At least
Why?
5 times.
Why have you seen it more than 2
So
times?
I will. Hold on. Let me.
While I'm recording.
Let me figure this out. Cookie, go on with your thing. Let me take a picture. Of
Well, this is kind of weird, guys.
Like,
but
is this
the way
fake?
I'll finish this is
is this kayfabe?
no longer breaking kayfabe.
Should I put my
There's an exposed nutsack in the studio.
Literally like a raisin.
Like a skin prune.
Hide your kids, hide your wife. Aaron's nuts out.
This is like the Dusty
Aaron's
Rhodes.
nut is
what
out.
we're doing is the Dusty Rhodes picture.
Oh, it is the dog.
You're gonna smile on it at least.
We're gonna get banned from Twitter.
If we get banned from Twitter, there's gonna be at least 2 likes.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Free $2 steak.
Cookie rating. Sorry, Cookie.
Well, Kobashi. I was impressed with this match. Kobayashi kept up with the younger Kenta and ended up winning the match. He drops him with his Death Valley Driver S move, pins him 1, 2, 3. It was definitely a finish that I wasn't expecting, but it was a phenomenal match, and I highly suggest this match to be watched by all of our followers. Giving it a 5. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that one. Giving this 5
No,
cookie rating.
really?
I'm giving it a 5 cookie rating just because it was so cool. It told a great story.
It really did.
And it's up for the golden cookie at the very end.
All right. all right.
It's up for the golden cookie. It's a solid match.
I'm excited about that. It really was a fucking phenomenal match.
Guys, there was more notes that I had, but we are in a rush, so we're going to go to the next segment.
All right, for the high spot, we have got Tolbert.
Oh, what a match we have got.
Tolbert has typed out his fucking his notes for this one.
He
We
was
have
so
got
excited
about it.
Cheesy,
Well, no, so I
Queasy, Sleazy, Jerry Lawler, Wink, Pink, Dink, and what we just sent the guy, a Doink.
that was great. All right, Survivor Series. Thanksgiving. Survivor
Still getting
Series.
foo wings.
Yeah, I want to know. I want to know. Anyway, Survivor Series, November 23rd, Thanksgiving Eve, 1994.
Just go ahead and tell the world. Just tell the world now. Just tell the world now.
We really did send a picture of my left nut.
To this guy.
I sent a picture of
Did
Aaron's.
he read it?
I don't know, but I've sent a picture of Aaron's testicle, and thanks for the support. But Aaron was giving a thumbs up, so it was to Dusty Rhodes. Sorry, Tolbert. I didn't mean to
No, it was
cheesy,
rail your
Queasy,
guys'
sleazy.
things.
It was a beautiful,
man.
organic moment.
That is literally the first shit talk back on a DM we've ever had.
So we're very excited here at $2
So
Steak.
excited.
Bring the heat, people. Bring the heat.
We'll bring more nuts.
We can take it.
Next
we
week
can
will be
take it.
Tolbert's.
All right. Anyway, let's get through this so we can watch Survivor Series and have some fun.
Survivor Series.
All right. Jerry the King Lawler versus Doink and their entourages, their little entourages. Which Aaron just named. I'm not going to name them all. Anyway, Jerry, the King Lawyer, enters with the royal family, which is Queasy, Sleazy, and Cheesy. Shut up, Cookie. Okay. They get some instant heat. Everyone hates the king. They're booing. It cuts to a quick shot of Diesel on the WWF hotline. What was that about? What was the WWF hotline?
I mean, you would call it to get like different like things.
Anyway.
You'd get like who's feuding backstage stuff.
All right, so it's a 4-on-4 elimination match, and the stipulations are that Doink, a regular sized wrestler, and Jerry Lawler, another regular sized wrestler, can only be in the ring together. If they're not in the ring, only the little guys can go at each other. The crowd starts instantly with a Burger King chant, trolling the king. Instantly.
Burger King.
Yeah, I don't know if they paid for a little promotion in this, but they got a lot of free advertisement.
Oh, what kind of
because
promotion?
this.
What'd you
did
just say?
I don't know what I just
Free
said.
promotion.
He said a little promotion.
Did I say little? Are you gonna call me out every time I
Yes.
say little?
Yeah.
And it starts. All right, so they start off. Bell rings, quick lockup, first offense from Doink, Irish whip into the rope. He goes for a high boot. Lawler catches it, and Dink does this sweet little spinning kick to the back of his head, sends him down face first, retreats to his corner, and this kind of starts off the whole kind of tone to this match. Like Dink actually, for being a clown, pulls off some really cool moves. He can actually wrestle, and was he several different wrestlers like some of these other masked people over
So
the
the
years?
original Doink was Matt Bourne, and I looked it up. This is not the original Matt Bourne. Matt Bourne was fired maybe a month before this, and it was like for drug stuff. So this was like another person. This was not Steve Lombardo. This was I'll find it.
Anyway, so I mean, but whoever's under the mask has got some solid moves, some really good wrestling, and so Lawler retreats to the corner after getting beat up like instantly, going up against him, and he's going to his guys. He's talking shit to his little man posse, and he's trying to tell them how everything's gonna go. Kind of downing them the whole time. And every time Doink will do some cool move, the whole match, the King would just try to mimic it with some like shittier version of it, and it would go wrong for him. And as soon as he does that super kick, he tries it. Lawler tries to do the same reverse spin kick, but Doink ducks it, and the crowd just goes right into him with a Burger King chant. Doink's taunting him, calling him a crybaby. At one point, his little posse goes in on the crowd as well, like "shut up" and all this. And Vince McMahon says, "quote Well, it's just kind of hard to tell these little guys apart sometimes." Yeah, and I was like, Vince. So Doink continues just working on Jerry, just taunting him. Crowd's going into him. He starts working his arm, and he does this sweet little arm bar snapmare and brings him down into like an arm stretch. And as soon as he does, all of Doink's little clowns run across the ring to taunt the other little wrestlers, but they step on Lawler as they're going over him, and they taunt the other wrestlers, and they chase him back, but all the little guys end up stepping on Lawler, and that's the first interference you see from these guys, and you can tell right off the bat it's going to be a comical match, and I laughed a lot, and they go just far enough. Well, at the beginning anyway, they go just far enough with the little people humor. To make it work and kind of be respectful about what's going on. Again, Jerry tries to reverse it and do a sloppier version of the same move, and he gets him in the same armbar, and he yells at his guys to come run over him, but they're like kind of reluctant. And you can see them start to kind of turn against him because he's being so mean to him. And so they do. They run all over him, but they fuck it up, and they trip all over each other, and they make him look dumb. Doink takes advantage of this momentum shift and just power slams him. Does these huge scoop power slams, like 3 in a row, stuns Lawler. He goes down, and then we have the first count. I would say it's a 6 count is what it is because Doink has Dink, Wink, and Pink come out and pin Lawler, and he's counting as each one's pinning him. But as each one's pinning him, Jerry Lawler is like pressing them off, like a little push press, like just a bench press, tossing them, and Doink is catching them and setting them aside. Then the second one to pin, he'd go 1, 2, and throw him off. And it was just a really funny little sequence. And at this point, Vince McMahon is just cackling. I mean, absolutely cackling at some of the little people action. It's really, you can tell it's amusing him like to the core.
And I feel like that's the type of person Vince is.
Yeah, and just some of the shit he's saying and the way he's reacting to it. Well, Jerry tries this same move, but he does it a lot. He does it a lot meaner. So he gets Doink down, has his little guys start pinning Doink. But as Doink's pressing him off, Jerry's taking him and just throwing them across the ring and tossing them. And he actually ends up getting pinned by his own little man for a 2 count. Pretty funny little sequence. He's mad. He's fired up. He's yelling at everybody. He's yelling at the crowd. They're still doing the Burger King chants. At one point, he starts working his arm, gets him in a little arm lock. Snapmares him again, gets him down, holds him in an arm bar, and Dink comes into the ring with a Burger King crown and crowns him. Crowd goes wild. There's even some Burger King crowns in the crowd. Everyone's just chanting, just booing and loving all Doink and Dink's antics. And apparently Dink has been leading up to this match. He's been playing pranks on him backstage and messing with him all week long or all month long. So the King's not getting anywhere. He's being shut down in every corner. He's getting pissed. And at one point, one of his little guys passes him a foreign object. Didn't show what it was, but he's got a little fist pack going on. Has a test of strength and punches Doink right in the head, lays him out, ditches the weapon as soon as it comes into question. Ref doesn't see it, and then he gets his first actual offense, and it's just heel-like offense, him punching him, flipping around. At one point, he calls for the feet, and all three of his little guy partners grab the top rope and they put their feet up, and he's going to throw Doink into their boots. Doink reverses it, though. He gets back on the offense. So Doink finally gets control of the match. He's going to end it. And after he reverses that Irish whip into the little guys, he gets some pretty cool offense. He gets like a jaw jacker, like elbow type move, a really cool hip toss, and then goes for the pin with a little flying crossbody press. Goes for the pin. Somehow Lawler reverses it with a sketchy little reverse ref distraction. Counts him out. That leaves Doink out of it. So this also leaves Lawler out of it as well because they can't be in the ring. They can only be in the ring with each other because of the size difference. The King instantly tries to start fighting all the other little guys. Ref kicks him out. So it's their time to shine and see what they can do. Dink does most of the wrestling, and he's actually got some really cool moves for a little guy. He can move around and he can
he's
wrestle.
Strong.
Yeah, really strong. All of the smaller guys on Lawler's side are kind of like bigger, smaller guys. One was really hairy, by the way. Did you guys see that? I made a note of that. One was like
that was not cheesy. I think that was sleazy.
That was sleazy.
Yeah,
that was sleazy. The fat one was cheesy.
Cheesy was the blonde,
and then Queasy. Yeah,
I don't know.
Anyway, it
I'm
was
like Vince. I couldn't get him
was
straight.
Yeah. Oh God.
I didn't even try.
So it's their time to shine, and they deliver. They have some cool little back and forth, but this leads to a butt biting spot where Dink bites one of the little guy's butts and then goes in on Lawler as well, bites his butt. And this leads to just a lot of wrestling between them. Dink doing most of it, but Lawler interfering the whole time and eliminating them one by one until it leaves Dink solo to take on the four guys. And he holds his own for a while. He's punching and kicking. He's doing some really cool moves, holding Lawler back. And as the other two clowns were eliminated, they slip under the ring. And you're like, what are they doing over there? What's going to go on? They're under there the whole time, right? And so it finally ends with Dink getting pinned, and it's a sketchy pinfall. Before I mentioned that, though, there's a funny spot where Lawler's interfering, and Dink is, or one of the clowns, I think it's Pink, is laying on the ground, and Lawler picks his guy up and just lifts him up and does a drop body press over him for the pin. I just thought it was very heelish and very funny as well.
Lawler was a master during that whole match.
Oh my God, some of the stuff he says, and Doink will go to put him in an arm lock, and they'll be like, no, and try to talk his way out of it, and the shit talking to the crowd, and it's just the tone of his voice and his inflection, the way he, I don't know, just the way he does it, man.
Lawler's
it's
a good
brilliant.
heel. Really
he's
good
great,
heel.
and the way he transitions over to a commentator and holds the same character, over the long years,
Flawless, man.
it is awesome, but. He's built a lot of heat. He's cheating left and right. Everyone's booing the hell out of him. And he's just talking mad shit to his little guys. And so he wins the match, and he takes all the credit for it. The three guys are linked up behind him, raising their hands up. He's turning around and going, put your hands down. I hate short people. And it just starts putting
kiss
him
my
down.
boot. He keeps telling him to kiss his feet.
Yeah, you get down and kiss the King's feet and all this. And eventually kicks him out of the ring because they keep trying to take credit for the win, which they deserved. And they're outside of the ring after he like dismisses them, and they do it again, and he's like, I'm coming down there, and he starts chasing after him. They start chasing him back, and then all the clowns come out. I thought they were going to do something a little cooler with the clowns being under the ring, but it turns out that everyone turns against them. They're chasing Jerry around the ring, and they chase him up the ramp, and there's Doink hiding behind him with a big old pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving. Smashes him right in the face, and it just leaves him high and dry, looking all sad, covered in pie.
It looked like a good pie.
Looking all sad.
Yeah, it's all sad, covered in pie. But it was a funny match. There's some funny moments. Another little person match. It's,
Your third one.
My third one. Yeah,
God,
and this is 1994. And I
No,
remember,
90. Yeah, 90.
I remember Doink and Dink a lot. I don't remember a lot of little people wrestling in the WWF back then, though. It's not something they did often.
Right. It's a sideshow.
Yeah, but
They've tried to.
But in the whole gimmick with Doink and Dink, they're clowns. They all have clown masks, and they look scary as hell. They're like the scariest looking clowns you've ever seen. And they come out to the circus music, so it has that whole sideshow kind of theme to it. But good match, entertaining, funny. Like I said, some great heel work from Jerry Lawler. But yeah,
Let me hear that haiku.
let's see. Down with the little clowns. They all look the same to Vince. Y'all want some burgers?
All right, well, that is it for this week's episode. Stay tuned as we go through the week. I haven't written out the thing for next week, so it'll be a surprise to all of us what your matches are. Wangz.
Wangz with an A.
Wangz.